Hello, I am Leonardo Saravia from the University of General Sarmiento, Buenos Aires, Argentina, and I will talk about sloths. Several large or single small, which is better for conservation. So this is an all untangled debate. Here are some of the last papers about this, and everybody agrees that habitat loss is a threat. But on one side, these people think that to have one bigger patch is better. On the other side, Leonardo Fahrig thinks that several small patches are better. Then, I applied a neutral hierarchical competitive model. So we have two flavors. The neutral one is a classical neutral model with a meta-community. Individuals migrate to the local community. And we have two parameters, the birth and death rate, that can be combined in one called lambda. And all species have the same parameters. And so species migrate and they can disperse locally. They have a dispersal distance. When they disperse, if the site is occupied or degraded, they die. So here there is an increased mortality. In the hierarchical side, we have another parameter that is the replacement rate. So species are not anymore exactly the same. So more competitive species can replace a less competitive one. And there is a hierarchy. The best species can replace all other species. The second best can replace all except the first, and so on. Yes, and then finally we have a third flavor that is the same that the classical neutral, with the addition that dispersers can select sites. If the site is occupied or degraded, they can select a neighbor empty site. So there is no additional mortality. In this case, I'm trying to simulate behavior of animals that can have the possibility to select the site when they disperse. So what happens when there is no habitat loss? The general pattern is that we have less species with more dispersal distance, because when we have larger dispersal, there is an increased probability that one species can dominate the area. So basically, we did fragmentation experiments that runs like this. So the community colonized, and then we fragmented it with 60% of the area degraded, and this is the case of lambda equal 2. Then we record how many species we have, and doing these experiments we found that with bigger patch size we have less species, and the effect is more pronounced when dispersal distance is smaller. We also observed that there is a minimum patch size in this case, in the central one. There is a minimum patch size for species to survive. For example, here we have another simulation which has a small patch sizes, and then we observe here that all species went extinct. So we also calculate Shannon diversity to see if the patterns are similar, and of course they are. Well, our main results is that we agree with Fahrig, but well, there is a minimum patch size for survival, and after that we observe that the patch size decrease diversity. So why? Because fragmentation acts as a barrier to dispersal, and as we see in the simulation without fragmentation, the increase in dispersals implies less species, because more dispersal is more probability that one species can dominate the area. Okay, I think that it's all. Thank you very much, and if there is any question, of course I will be here to answer.